We'll move on now to 1992 and the venues in Northern Ireland. One you must have fancied, Dick.
I did, John. I tell you, first of all, I had a bit of a problem with this Northern Ireland one because I was there when the bomb went up in Enniskillen, and it was a bit of a problem for my wife, saying that did I really ought to be going, because I think I made a few comments on local radio that maybe were a bit strong. But anyway, what happened was the tourist board decided that they would take me out there, so that we both went actually, and we went around, and she came back with obviously feeling a lot more confident about it being okay. So that was it. We fished the Home International on the venue at Beleek, and we did brilliantly well. There were bream everywhere, really good weights of bream. And so we got a method, and we went out there. But of course, like as usual, it doesn't always fish the same. Different time of year as well. And so it was the year that Dave Wesson won the match. Mickey Thill was third.
Yeah, Mickey Thill. Yeah. Very interesting character, Mickey. One of the World Championship legends. I mean, runner-up to Kevin in 1982 on the New
in Ireland. That's right.
Did you have many dealings with?
Oh, me? Yeah, absolutely.
By the way,
lots of times.
He passed away recently.
I know he did.
Yeah.
No, I had. I mean, when he went to live in America eventually, he used to contact me for different things. Because he was starting to do some making floats and things like that, but yeah, I had a few dealings with Mickey. He was he was a character. You're right about that. Yeah. And in fact, the day that happened, strangely enough, he got a guy with him from America, and when he got on the podium, this guy sang the national anthem. It was like, and it was brilliant and it was good. It went down very well, but we did very well in the Home International. But when it came to the championship proper, we struggled. And Dennis White actually finished up catching a fish with a half a squat, moving down his peg, which is what I've said you can do.
Yeah.
And so Dennis actually evaded a dry net again. By catching one of these little things. Yeah, it was like another one to forget about.
Yeah. As might have been 1993, where the English team finished 9th.
Well, that was the day that I reintroduced Dave. Wasn't it? When I brought
Dave Harrell
back from the dead.
Yeah.
In Carouche, wasn't it?
Yeah, in Portugal.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, it was a good. It should have suited us. It was a good river. There were plenty of fish there, and I took Dave Harrell and Alan Scott Owen.
That was Alan's debut.
And that was Alan Scott Owen's debut.
And the rest is history, of course.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that in a minute.
True enough. And Alan, actually, it was difficult for me to get him to understand. He wanted to do things. I left him out the first day, as I did with Dave, and he wanted to do things, Alan, that he was trying to make the fish feed the way he wanted them to feed. And I kept saying, Alan, you've got to catch some fish. You're not catching fish doing it where you were doing it. And it was all to do with his shotting pattern. But anyway, I left him out on the first day, and then I changed on the second day, and I did exactly the same thing as I'd done once before, and I left Dennis and Tommy out, and I put Dave Harrell and Alan Scott on in, and again they told me I couldn't do it. Right, you can only make one reserve now because it had changed to a 2-day format.
Yeah.
And the individuals were part of it.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to nominate anybody. And I said, look, it's the same thing as before. If I don't, we've qualified. You've got to have everybody in. and I'm changing 2 names. What's wrong with 2 names? Anyway, the year after, at a meeting that I was a part of the FIPS anyway, we decided that would have to be, you could only nominate one change. But I changed 2.
It wasn't.
Otherwise, we were going home again.
It wasn't in the rules.
It wasn't in the rules
in '93. So,
well, it might have been, but they let me go. Let me do it anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was again. I mean, that was the worst of all the. I think I had a 9th and a 7th, and I think apart from that, I think there was.
Yeah. Just going back to Alan, when did you first sort of meet Alan, and when did he get involved with the Barnsley team?
Oh, Alan was. I had a fishing tackle shop in Barnsley. Alan Scott Owen was 13 years of age, and he used to come in the shop. So Alan started with me basically. He caught it. In fact, when he was 13 or 14, he went with his father. His brother was a very good angler as well, there David, but he didn't continue. But he caught a huge pike, Alan, about 27 pound, I think it weighed, from somewhere down on the Witham near the Bain End, I think, or whatever. And that's when he started, and he was just good from day one. You know, everything about him was perfect, and he's developed into the world's best, hasn't he? Well, he's got 5 wins. He can't, you know, that's 4 more. That's 1 more than Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
So and the thing about Bob is that of Bob's 4 wins, I've drawn all his pegs for him, and of the first 3 of Alan's, I've drawn Alan's 3 pegs. So I just take a little bit of credit from the individual.
Yeah, you can't beat being individual. Good at the drawback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It went. It was
one of those. If you had to pick one to fish for your life, of anybody that you ever select.
Well, yeah.
What an awful question.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, wherever he goes, Alan, it's like I've said. You know, he fishes commercials in the summer, as well as normal natural venues, and he wins there. And it's because the ability to absorb and to change and to do things and to know about fish. You know, they are experts, aren't they? Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. And
longevity.
And yeah, exactly that as well. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well, Alan's got to be, what is he now? 55, something like that. 56. So he's qualified for the new vets team.
Yeah.
Which is 55 to 65. Yeah.
You never know. He might be the first man to win.
Strangely enough, yeah. Well, when I started taking the veterans teams, I was a bit disappointed in the fact that Bob, who's now decided to go with the vets, said yes and then changed his mind at the last minute, and it left me in a quandary. I was upset with Bob for doing that, but Kevin said no, we weren't interested. And I thought at the time, well, what's wrong with being a veteran? You know, everybody is getting old.
Only one thing worse than being a veteran, not living long enough to become one, I think.
Well, there you are. Yeah. And it's the same. I mean, every sport that I know, especially with golf, because I play golf, when you get to the end of your career, or when you can't compete, you go into the veterans one. And then you can continue with your lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I think that's the same with angling. But anyway, Kevin said no, Bob said yes. Then he said no at the last minute when I was booking the flights. I didn't get to know from Bob. Somebody else told me, so I was upset. But you know, that's another story, the veterans thing. But yeah, so Alan was 14, perhaps, when he came into the Barnsley team.
Yeah.
Going back to the question that you asked me.
Yeah, and I think he certainly won. He was in the '79 national team, won the gold then.
Yeah.
And I think he will eventually break Billy Lane's record for the most number of national championship medals.
Who, Alan?
Yeah. And he could break Frank Butler's record for the most number of appearances, because, you know, he might have missed a few because of World Championship duty where it clashed.
He will have, because we did miss.
Yeah.
We did miss 1 or 2.
And that's quite a challenge for John Essex and I to work out exactly how many medals Alan's already got, you know. But he's already in the top 3.
Is he?
And I think he'll end up breaking all of those records if he, if he chooses to, or short of some catastrophe or other.
I don't see him getting left out of the out of Barnsley team in the next few years, but I just think that I'm not. He's been left out a couple of times now in the Andy on the first day or the second day.
Yes.
In the world team, so I don't know how long that's going to last.
No, and you must have had the experience, say, with perhaps with Ivan and with Kevin, of eventually having to leave a true legend out.
Well, I didn't have that with Ivan because I never selected Ivan.
Got you.
In fact, it was one of the things that Ivan used to get onto Malcolm Burdett about. I did use him in the home internationals, but I never invited him in the world team.
In the world champion, yeah.
No. But Kevin Ashurst, I was. I think it might have been at Owen Pierpont, and I said to I was going in to see him, and Mark Addy was with Kevin that time in the same accommodation, and as I got into the room, Mark said, "Oh, I'll go," so he knew why I'd come in, and I said to Kevin, he says, "You don't need to say anything." He says, "I know what you're here for." He says, "And you're right in what you're doing." So he made it so easy for me. And then when I decided that I would step down as manager of the international team, of the nations team, I said I appointed Mark Addy and Mark Downs, and I said, I'm just glad I haven't got to tell Bob Nudd he can't fish anymore. Or Steve Gardner, he can't fish anymore.
Yeah. So
because it's so hard, and even I mean, one of the hardest points is when you're actually deciding out of the 5 or 6 people that you've taken, who you're going to leave out, because all of them are so good, and you have got to make the decision right. You're the reserve. It's the worst day of the year for me. Like it is, it was all that. And when I was doing 2 or 3 teams as well, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to do it again. No, but you have to do it, don't you?
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
yes.
you shouldn't be there.
Football managers have to.
Exactly.
It's the same in any sport that whether Wayne Rooney's been left out or whatever. Yeah. I do think that Kevin. If we'd have selected a team in the 1960s, and of course in those days there was one member of each of the national winning 6.
Yes.
And you think, well, Kevin arguably could have fished for England from 1960 right through. And of course then he would have broken, Stevie.
Well, it was that. I mean, the thing is that it was the team. Even that he might not have fished, because I know that Sheffield and District nominated what was his name? At that time, what you're saying is right. The top 6 teams nominated an angler.
Exactly.
And usually what they did is they nominated the guy that was their best performer to fish for England.
On weight.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sheffield and District nominated. Is it in there?
It might have it in here, because Sheffield. So the team was Dave Dowcra. This is the 71 team. Dowcra, Frank Howes, Ian Roth, Percy Anderson, Walter Davidson.
No, that's not the year then. But one of the years
Tommy Flowers, Norman Hayes, Peter James, Albert Broadway, Kevin Ashurst. That was the 70 team.
No, it was a Sheffield and District member.
Got you.
I'm not sure which year it was. It might have been a late one before the change, because it changed, didn't it? And but they did nominate, and it was.
But there was 6 and 1 which he could have been reserve, and it doesn't tell you.
Oh right, that's it. Oh, maybe so then. Maybe so.
The top 6 teams.
Right.
Nominated.
Yes.
And the manager chose Bernard Donovan was the manager. Appointed in 65.
It could have well been, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when he died. I guess he must have died in 71.
But yeah, it was. That's how they used to choose the team, isn't it? With the top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.